now with the third panelist, Gaetano Senatore. So Gaetano is Colonel of Guardia di Finanza with more than 30 years of experience in economic and financial crime. Since August 2021, Gaetano has been also the expert for the EF security at the Italian Embassy in London, graduated in law, EF security science and political science with a specialized master in international tax law at Bocconi University. And for the ones that they are not familiar with, Guardia di Finanza is the Italian specialized tax police force. So the title of this presentation of Gaetano will be the Guardia di Finanza and the fight against economic crime and financial crime. Gaetano, the floor is yours.
Okay, good evening. I try to share my screen. I hope is it okay?
Yes, it's great. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, let me thank the organizer for their kind invitation to this event. I have divided my speech into two parts. In the first, I start with a brief description of the organization and tasks of the Guardia di Finanza. And in the second, I highlight the main recent technologies and strategies used to carry out threat analysis and targeting activities to counter organized crime. Guardia di Finanza is the Italian economic and financial police force with almost 250 years of history, with a military organization and civil objectives, which depends directly on the Minister of Economic and Finance. We have a naval and air component and are part of the Italian armed forces. Unlike the Carabinieri and the National Police, who have general competencies, the Corps has exclusive competencies in terms of prevention and repression of violations of the rules set up to protect any financial interests of the country and the European law. The institutional mission of the Corps is now divided in three strategic objectives, complemented by a structural one. The strategic objectives concern combating tax evasion, tax avoidance, and tax fraud, the fight against public spending offenses, and combating economic and financial crime. In addition to this, we pursue a structural purpose, so-called because it is part of the wider function of protecting public order and safety, to which the Corps contributes. The GDF avails itself of a particular structure. At the top, this is the headquarters, responsible for laying down strategic guidelines, top management, institutional and international relationships. Below that are the territorial units, the special departments, the air and naval centers and units, the recruiting and training centers, and the departments that provide technical, logistical, and administrative support. In order to counteract the evolution of the criminal strategies, the Corps can count on special units, considered as the beating heart of the investigative activity, that are also used to develop information and cooperate with the various national supervisory authorities or other important specific institutional bodies. Special units carry out as well targeted operational analysis to counteract the most serious and dangerous illicit phenomena within each territorial context. The digitalization, the information technologies, the interoperability of the databases, and the use of artificial intelligence represent fundamental instruments for the realization of priority objectives for Italian country, such as, for example, the simplification of the work processes and the action to counteract the economic financial illicits. Technological innovation is of strategic importance for the Guardia di Finanza, which has always oriented its operative lines of action toward subjects characterized by higher risk profiles, and which today, thanks to the opportunities offered by new technologies, can further increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the activity of counteracting tax evasion, offenses in the matter of public expenditure, and economic and organized crime. For these reasons, the Corps has long since launched an action to renew and strengthen its IT infrastructure, outlining a multi-year program of structural interventions. The action of the Guardia di Finanza is directed in a targeted manner on subjects at risk characterized by elements symptomatic of violations or fraud. For this reason, the information interchange between the different existing databases is a necessary requirement to fulfill our mission of economic and financial police force. The use of databases and the consequent interoperability of the same is functional, not only in the executive phase of the interventions, but also and above all for the selection of the relative targets. This activity is based on the search for elements indicative of potential anomalous and at-risk situations according to a two-fold declination. On one hand, through a bottom-up approach, whereby each department develops an ongoing process of intelligence research on the territory, and on the other hand, through a top-down approach, by means of risk analysis elaborated at the central level by the special units, which proceed to the collection of data from the information systems, their aggregation, and the relative analysis to isolate the subject at risk, to be forwarded to the operational units on the ground. In all these, the main role is obviously played by human capital, which must adapt both investigative methods to the constant criminal evolution and the technology supporting investigation to the development of artificial intelligence systems to be used for risk analysis purposes. From the need to target the action of the Guardia di Finanza on those at risk, one of the most important projects for the Corps in the field of digital innovation has been launched, the IT backbone. This is a modern technological architecture that, by unifying in a single access platform the datasets available to the Corps, approximately 200 databases and information systems, significantly reduces the time needed to search for information, optimizing work processes and profitably directing investigation, also through a graphical representation of the relationships existing between one or more entities interrogated. This tool has proved fundamental in identifying assets traceable to the subjects listed by the recent EU sanctions issued following the contingent Russian-Ukrainian crisis, enabling Guardia di Finanza the identification of assets subject to the freezing for a value of over 1.9 billion euros. In order to process large volumes of data to highlight specific information on at-risk subjects, our Central Organized Crime Investigation Service created in-house the molecular software several years ago. It constitutes the first real use by an Italian investigative body of a device based on advanced technology compared to traditional databases, optimizing the work of searching and developing information of operational interest, which it reports automatically. It is a tool that makes it possible to examine significant mass of data and to identify suspicious manifestations of wealth in the case of individuals characterized by dangerousness indexes in possession of assets disproportionate to their declared income. In particular, the system automatically processes and analyzes the disproportion underlying the asset aggression and interfaces with the analyst's notebook. Furthermore, in order to complete the process of digitalization and interoperability of the databases, the Guardia di Finanza has recently launched important initiatives aimed at protecting data security and guaranteeing adequate performance in the management of information flows. To this end, within the framework of the PNR, the Corps has proposed a project called Digital Mission, for which a total funding of 32 million euros has been allocated, organized along the two development lines of cybersecurity and big data analysis. The project aims to apply data science in compliance with the legislation on the protection of personal data, with the purpose of analyzing and exploiting extremely rapidly huge quantities of data today contained in different silos The synergic combination of these resources will make it possible to develop analysis path capable of anticipating possible manifestation of illegality. Big data and artificial intelligence will therefore support strategic and tactical decisions, amplifying the ability to know and understand criminal phenomena and allowing more effective countermeasures to be foreseen, as well as ultimately to measure their outcomes. Lastly, I would like to emphasize how the development of advanced analysis techniques based on artificial intelligence algorithms is also at the basis of a specific interinstitutional collaboration with important academic institutions and research centers, taking full advance of the fund made available by the PNR. Among the various collaboration, I would like to mention the project involving researchers from Harvard University and Einaudi Institute for Economics and Finance for the creation of analysis models with the aim of preventing and suppressing crimes in the area of income tax and value-added tax. Thank you for your kind attention.
Well, fantastic, fantastic. The permanent effector AI monitoring you, but you are certainly using the right time. So thank you very much, Gaetano. It was very, very interesting that you illustrated the strategies and the technological tools developed and used by the Italian Guardia di Finanza to detect and counter financial crime. We know very well that the high level of specialization that characterized Guardia di Finanza makes the Italian courts a unique model in the fight of economic crime that is widely appreciated at the international level. So thank you very much for this. So now